Welcome back to the Carrington Cardinal Community Chatter program right here on yourliveevent.com. And the Chatter program brought to you on a weekly basis every Thursday night by the Carrington CVB. It's time now to check in with our monthly check-in with Mayor Tom Erdmann for the city of Carrington. Excuse me, and thanks, Mayor, for joining us here on a monthly basis and letting us all know what's all happening with city council meeting. This meeting is from the 10th of November here, so we'll talk about that here and kind of run down the regular agenda. But Tom, before we get started, I think it's been decent fall so far, not?
Oh yeah, it's been really a nice fall. It's a good harvest fall. Sure, we've had some rain, but it's kind of dried up now, and the farmers are busy working on corn. And I've been doing a little boat fishing, a little golfing. In fact, hope to get out again this week and do some more golfing, and then kind of wait around for the ice to form so we can do some ice fishing. But we got a little ice here this past week, but now it's starting to melt again. But yeah, one thing about living here, there's all kinds of fun things to do, and hard to believe you can boat fish one in November, and you can also play golf in the afternoon. So we'll be heading out there this week to do some more, hit the golf ball a few more times, and enjoy that part of the season. But
Yeah,
thanks for having me on, and appreciate our monthly visit.
you bet. Yep. Yeah. So you just want to start with the regular agenda then from Monday's meeting?
Yep, I'll do that. I guess the first item on the agenda was a new ordinance 284, where the city is looking at changing the limit that we do right now. Any property over $2,500 requires us to bid that, and we want to raise that to $20,000 so we don't have to go through the bidding process. And then we're also our abandoned property, whether it's vehicles or anything that people would abandon, we kind of really don't have a good ordinance for that. And so this will kind of take the place of anybody would leave or abandon a vehicle. We can go take it to our impound lot and sell it relatively quickly. But we do notify, of course, the prior owner before we would do that. So we're looking at updating that ordinance and just give us a little more freedom to help kind of deal with abandoned property. Then the other thing, of course, is the water main project on Main Street from Gate City Bank up to the old National Bank area there. That one block of water main, the bid was 174,000, and we had a change order for another 15,000. And then also there were some things that backed it off 5,000. So we agreed to pay Nosted Brothers for the completion of that project $184,542. And then the state, through their 60/40 reimbursement plan, will issue us a check back for around 84,000. So that project got taken care of. And of course, the minute they opened the ground up, it rained about an inch and a half or something. One of the change orders was required because we used more gravel to compact the soil and got rid of some of that mushy clay that got soaked up in the rain, plus from the water break that had occurred there at the Gate City area. But that area of town it's all resurfaced, and glad to have that fixed going into winter. And of course, Gate City is working on their new building right there, so it'll be a great addition once they get that all landscaped and open. That at least the street out in front of their facility will be cleaned up and not have an old water line break with the gravel and things of that nature. So from there, then we just jump into the fire department. Chief Wangen indicated there was a couple local calls. One's a false alarm. Apparently, people can turn on their cell phone, and if you drop your cell phone, it'll automatically call 911. And by the time people realize what's going on, they pick up the phone and stop it. But by that time, some of the firemen have already responded. So I would just tell people, if you have that feature on your phone, make sure it's probably okay to turn it on when you're driving in a vehicle. But if you're just working around the house and you drop the phone, it might cause a false alarm on that deal. Then they also assisted in town here with a medical assist with the ambulance. An individual had fallen and broken her leg, so they helped with the ambulance crew on that deal. Then they had two rural calls. One was a combine fire, and the second one was the bad deal there where the police officer from Tennessee drowned in a hunting accident here north of Woodworth, so they helped in the recovery of his body. And then as they were doing that, they realized they don't have the proper equipment to deal with, ice cold water. So they're looking at the years past, they used to have a 14-foot aluminum boat, and they're looking now at some type of inflatable boat to assist in that type of rescue and recovery. And then they're also using their iPads more now to document all the activity with the fire trucks. They got to continually go through inspection of the fire trucks and then submit that information to the state. So then these iPads will assist in that process. So from there, then I'll just jump into economic development. Let me back up here. I guess I got my sheets out of line here. The other thing is the chief noticed he walked into the station the other day and there was some gas leaks in the station. So they discovered the thermostats on the furnaces in the fire hall needed to be replaced. So it's a good thing nothing happened there, but apparently there was some natural gas odor coming from the furnaces there because the thermostats weren't kicking in properly. So from there, I'll jump into finance and legal. Of course, our waste management contract, we got that now and we reviewed it and we've agreed to the dollar amounts. And now we just, it's a 14-page document. So we kind of went through and redlined some items and sent it back to waste management. And then part of our contract right now with waste management is they give us a $1,500 donation and the city can decide where that money would go. And we decided to, again, have that money sent to the Carrington Community Endowment Fund, which then in turn does all kinds of grants and issues checks and has, for all kinds of charitable entities, in the spring and sometimes in the fall. But mainly it's a spring deal where the charitable entities can apply and get money from that, the interest on that endowment fund. Then we also at Finance and Legal, we approved our Blue Cross Blue Shield medical plan. We're looking at a 14% increase on the medical side and 11% on dental and basically the same on the vision, no change on the vision. But the city pays, the city employees, we pay for the dental and the vision, but the employees are responsible for 23% of the premium on the medical, so they'll see an increase in there, but the medical costs just kind of keep going up. But the only thing with the city is we have a very low deductible plan, so that helps our employees if something does happen where they need medical service, the deductibles are extremely low. Then the other thing we did, we approved the 4-year lease with I3G, Two Rivers Broadcasting. They have their antenna on our water tower. So we approved another 4 years on that contract at $2,800 a year. And then the city was awarded a grant from the State Historical Society of $8,249 for the library at the 250th Walking the Prairie Story Trail. So we're going to have some signs and some enhancement on the hiking and biking trail north of town. And that was received from a grant that Jennifer and Michele had worked on and received from the State Historical Society with our upcoming 250th, state's anniversary coming up this next year. Then also Finance and Legal, we approved a $150 cash gift to the Christmas gift to all the employees, which is run through their payroll. So after tax, they should get about $100 for a Christmas gift for this year. And the city sales tax through October were 179, almost 180,000 ahead of last year's 1%. Right now we're at 695,000. Last year's record was 655,000. So we're looking to break the $800,000 mark. And it just kind of amazes me that there's that much economic activity in our community because there's a number of things that are exempt from city sales tax. So that's a substantial amount of money. And of course we have 2%. So the other 800,000 that we get in it goes towards the special assessments on the street project. So if that would continue, it looks like we should be able to get that paid off a little bit ahead of time, that special assessment. Then I'll jump into economic development. I guess we amended our new home construction and tax incentive. We've had inquiries of people moving farmhouses into town or actually buying or a modular home and moving it into the city. So we basically said that a pre-built or relocated home must include newly constructed living space to qualify, and the assessed value of that property needs to be in excess of 200,000. And if that occurs, then they would be eligible for the 6,000 Carrington cash and 6,000 cash, and then a 2-year tax incentive on up to $150,000 value of the house. And with that, then we approved the Jade and Katie Riedesel. If you notice by the overpass, they moved their farm home into Carrington and they're still working on it. And once they get certificate of occupancy and we have the assessed value, they would qualify for that grant program. Also, we approved the disbursement of a commercial building improvement grant to Ben Gar out at his Red Rock properties. They concreted out the parking lot and did a new facelift on the building, and they qualified for 25% with a maximum of $30,000. So they had invested in excess of the funds, so they maxed out the $30,000 grant. Then we also approved another commercial building improvement grant for Trampus Larson for some more improvements that he's working on with his buildings on the west side of town. And then Dennis Freeman, if you've been down Main Street, you'll see that the Headlocks bar has got a different color to it. It's been repainted gray, so that qualified because it's in the center of Main Street. It qualifies for a 40% matching fund, so he will receive $4,800 towards that $12,000 project to paint the outside of that building. And it looks pretty good. Then from there, I'll just jump into the airport. Of course, we're still working on the new lighting. We thought we would have that installed by now, but apparently we run into some issues with FAA on where the beacon was supposed to be located and how the structure of the setup of the lights was. So we're going to be looking at installing the new lights here next spring. But of course, FAA pays for like 98% of that. So I guess we better kind of play by their rules if you want to get the benefit of the money from FAA. Then from there, I'll jump into the police department, the state, of course. This is the second year where they have Back to Blues grant, which they sent a check to the city of Carrington for just shy of $20,000. And that money's divvied up amongst all of the officers. The chief takes care of that. So the Back to Blues program from the state, each officer got a healthy little incentive check and to show the state showing their appreciation towards law enforcement and also the fact that things seem to be getting better now. There was a time where law enforcement careers were not the most sought after, but now that's kind of changing, and which is good because we definitely need law enforcement. Then the calls for service, of course, the 370 calls for service this past month. And then coming up on December 2nd is the holidays with heroes. So the officers and the firemen and the EMTs and the ambulance and all those kind of the first responders all get together and they take kids shopping. And then after the shopping spree, they'll take them out to the pizza ranch for supper. So that's on December 2nd. Oh, the other thing that our body cameras or the contract on our body cameras with Axon is coming up, and of course they have a new program where they're trying to sell us on a 10-year contract, and on this contract that if an officer makes a stop and they turn on the body camera or the car camera or both, and when they get back to the office, it will translate the call and type out the document. So the report, they just have to review the report and probably make a few minor changes. So that's kind of the new technology in AI that they can just it'll print out a report based on the actions that were taken on the camera. Then we'll jump into public works. Of course, the water main project is complete and that's paved. The other thing that this week now, every resident that has a water meter is going to get another letter. Annually, the federal government has indicated we have to notify people of potential lead on the pipes, on their water lines. And I know a lot of us have sent in and said ours are all copper, but the thing is, we're still going to get a letter because out of 900 meters, 600 of us are considered unknown because we don't know if there's a lead line someplace between the water tower or the water plant before it gets to our house. So, and of course, everything is supposed to be identified by 2027. And the federal government at this point is saying everything needs to be replaced by 2037. So just as an example, when we dug up the Main Street one, we realized there was three hookups that were lead. So if those individuals would have had to pay for that, it's like a $10,000 cost to run a service line from a main to the curb stop and then into your property. So we're hoping that since the federal government is saying this is a mandated deal by 2037, that they come with some type of grant or matching funds. So right now, nobody's forced to replace the lead. And then of course at our water plant, we know we have lead, just like any community has got, older water lines that have lead in them. So we've taken the position that we've put certain chemicals in the water that kind of seal that lead to the pipe. And if you're concerned about it and you have lead, just run the water at your home before you drink it. So just run a little water before you would drink the water or use the water. But we've been sending in samples of people that have lead lines, and there is no indication that any of that lead is leaking into the water because of some of the chemical treatment that we've used to seal the pipes. Then, of course, we've asked Interstate Engineering. At one of our prior meetings, one of our council members was concerned about all the crossings, the kids crossing on 281, because of course our whole school and our city park and all that activity is on the east side of 281, and 80% of the people live on the west side of 281. So we're looking at getting a grant to try to identify at least 5 or 6 crossings where there will be major flashing lights and different activity when a pedestrian walks up, pushes a button. Right now, there's some lights there, but nothing to the degree that we need to get everybody's attention and stop the traffic, because we have over 5,500 vehicles coming through our city daily, and of course, of them, about 3,000 are semi trucks. So we're very fortunate that we haven't had an incident with any of our children on 281 at this point. So. And then also at Public Works, if you noticed at the Armory, we tore off the old existing. There was a lean-to built on the Armory for a garage space for the fire department years ago, and the roof was shot and the thing was crumbling apart. So that was removed, and it'll be closed back up to the original Armory. So I think Kelly Hoggle's working on that project. And then of course at City Hall, we're still working on a grant for the furnace and air conditioning. It looked like we would qualify for a 50% match, and now we found out that we could potentially get 100%, but we still got to jump through all the hoops, and hopefully we can get that grant money and get the furnaces installed before winter. They still work, but they got issues, and of course they're 25 years old, I believe. So, and then of course that we have an open position again for the water plant equipment operator through the Public Works Department. So I guess with that, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and look forward to being on your program again in December.
Sounds great. Yep. Thanks, Tom, for the update. We appreciate it. And yeah, we're getting ready for the holiday season, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up pretty quick.
Yep, I already see some people got Christmas trees up, and I still got to go trim my hedges and different things. I'm kind of lazy about doing that, but I guess if I don't get it done, I can do it in the spring too. But yeah, it's kind of, here we go. Everything was grass green. In fact, the lawns are still pretty green right now, but it's like, but then all of a sudden now in the mornings they're turning white, so it won't take long, and the lawns will be either covered up with snow or turning brown again. But anyway, another season is here upon us, and another 2 months, and we'll be looking at 2026.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yep. All righty. Well, thanks so much, Mayor, and we appreciate it. And have a great rest of your week here. And then we'll check in again. Let's see, the next meeting is December 8th, right? So we'll have you on that week there.
Yep, that's right. Okay. Thank you, Greg.
Yep, you bet. We'll see you. Have a good day.
Discover the charm of Carrington, where community and character come together. Our vibrant community is full of welcoming smiles and unique experiences, from delicious dining and one-of-a-kind shops to lively events and beautiful parks. Join us in celebrating the best of Carrington, where every visit feels like coming home. Come visit the Carrington Chamber and CVB office to learn more about our wonderful town and its amazing businesses. Explore Carrington today and experience the warmth of our community. Hey sports fans, tune in to yourliveevent.com for all the action-packed Carrington Cardinal games, streaming live and free. Catch every thrilling moment with our live coverage. Listen to the play-by-play and watch the games unfold right on your screen. Plus, if you missed any of the excitement, don't worry. You can catch up on all previous games at yourliveevent.com. Check out the full schedule and never miss a moment of your favorite local Carrington games. Stay tuned and let's go Cardinals!
Right now, Gabi Aboud joins us right here on the Carrington Cardinal Community Chatter program on yourliveevent.com. Thanks, Gabi, for checking in with us here. And the Chatter program brought to you by the Carrington CVB. And we check in every Thursday night with the Gabi. And so how's everything going? Boy, it's been a decent fall so far. The weather's been holding and been pretty decent, right?
Yes, it is. Like just a little shy snow and the weather is holding. So let's hope it keeps this way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we do still have things going around. So I will start. So this week is the 27th annual Caring Rose Week. So you still have time to go be part of that. So when you donate 2 cans of food, you get a dozen of roses for $10. So branded blooms and petal stems are part of the promotion. So just stop by there, bring your cans of food, and you get a dozen of roses. So it is a good promotion that they are doing there. And about some events that we have coming. So this weekend, Saturday the 15th, it is the CHI Foundation Brunch and Bingo. It is at the Garden Gate from 10 a.m. to noon. And if you did not get your ticket, you need to buy in advance. So if you're planning to attend, you can call 701-652-7209 to get your ticket. And also that Saturday, Cows & Co. Creamery will be open from 10 to 3. And with the beautiful weather that if it is just like today, we will be good because it will be a good day to go out there and visit everything. And if you'd like to plan ahead, on Saturday, November 22nd, the Carrington Youth Center will have the trivia night, also at the Garden Gate. There is a limit of numbers of teams that they will accept, so you do need to register for that. Teams are 4 people per team, and you can register at the Youth Center, at the Garden Gate, or with any board member, the Carrington Youth Center board member. And last thing that I want to remind everyone is we are having the Christmas parade. It is coming. It is getting here in like a little over 2 weeks. So if you're planning to have a float, please enter your float, register with us. You can call the office at 652-2524. Or if you go into the Facebook event page, there is a link there so you can also find online. Okay. And yeah, this is all that I have for this week.
Awesome. Well, lots of good stuff. So thank you for the update again, as usual. And enjoy your weekend here. And yeah, let's hope that weather holds. And yeah, before you know it, we'll be talking turkey and Thanksgiving and everything, right?
Yeah, right. It is coming.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds
All
good. Well,
right.
thanks so much. And we'll check in again next Thursday night. So
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.
yeah, you too. We'll see you. Right now on the Carrington Cardinal Community Chatter program right here on yourliveevent.com. We're glad to be joined by Michele Seil, and Michele is the Carrington City Library Director. And we check in once a month with Michele, and she lets us know what's all happening here at the library in town. So thanks, Michele, for joining us here. We always appreciate you. And yeah, we're getting ready for all sorts of stuff, including the holidays, turkey and Christmas. That's all coming up, right?
Just around the corner. It just moving fast. It doesn't seem like it with the weather the way things have been, but I think winter's on its way. Can't avoid it too much, but yeah. So yeah, so we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, and that holiday means we have some closures here at the library. So the week of Thanksgiving, because of the way the holiday falls and holiday pay and things like that, we are actually closed for Wednesday, the 26th. And then of course Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, Friday, because we're always closed on Fridays. And then because of staffing, we'll be closed Saturday. So basically we're closed from Wednesday all the way through Sunday, so that means we're going to move our story time from the usual Wednesday, Thursday we're going to do story time Tuesday morning. So anybody wants to bring their preschoolers to story time, that's when we'll be doing it that week. And then following week, that Monday we come back all decorated and ready to go for Christmas around town, because that's that Monday already, December 1st. So here at the library, we're going to have some vendors. We have several, I'd have to double check my list, but I think about 8 vendors planning to sell. It could be, things that you want there's some food or for stocking stuffers or gifts or, just for yourself kind of things. Some vendors we'll have here. And then the library is hosting some treats and some crafts for the kids. So our theme is penguins. So we'll have a penguin related kind of craft, and then they can come in and we're going to serve up penguin poop, which is better than it sounds, right?
Right.
It's just a name for that snack mix, with the white chocolate and some popcorn and all the yummy good stuff all inside it, So that and some punch. And so folks can stop in here, see our vendors, have a little treat before the parade, after the parade. Some even like to sneak in during the parade if they don't want to be outside for the parade. So we'll be here and our vendors, and we'll have our activities set up from 4 until 7.
Okay.
So asking everybody to stop by during Christmas around town.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. And then for the holidays coming up, maybe have more kids at home or visitors or whatever. You got some STEM to go kits to talk about too, right?
We do. I just want to remind everybody, we have a lot of things, of course. It's great to have extra books on hand, for the kids to read and stuff like that during their time off of school as holidays are coming up. But one of the things we have here that people are just not as aware of as I like is the STEM to go kits. And it is a bag, and inside the bag, it has a book kind of that's connected to the kit. And then it's STEAM. So it's science kits or technology, engineering. There's one where it's a bunch of like wooden bricks that you could, like logs kind of thing, you build different things, and so the kit comes with some instructions and things like that. There's robotics, there's a great kit that kids love. It's a vet kit, it's got little animals in there. It's called the I Love Animals kit. We've got an arts and crafts kind of kit, just a whole range of them for all different levels. There's a family game night kit. There's a tot game kit, so there are just a lot of things. And you just come in, check them out, take them home, play with them, enjoy them, and then just bring them back, so it's kind of a really great way of being able to have something different, to do that doesn't cost any money.
Yeah, perfect. All right. All great stuff. Well, thanks, Michele. And
bet.
anything else while we got you on here talk about?
I guess we could mention, for Christmas around town, one of the things I didn't think of and set up for the whole month of, January until after Christmas. One of the things that the library has been able to do is, we're funded as a city library, through city mills, but we as a library really thrive when we have community support. And one of the ways that people can help us, or a couple of things I'm thinking of, is to provide that financial support. And one of the things you can do is right now, everybody think about doing baking and cooking all year long, but during the holidays, we do a little extra. We collect the UPC or the barcode from our family labels. Just collecting that, just taking that little bit and then dropping them off here at the library gives us an opportunity to turn that into the Our Family organization and then get some money back. So that's a really easy way of doing a little bit to help us. And then we'll have during December, and starting with the wish tree during Christmas around town, a wish tree. And so we'll put on there things that books that we'd like to have, or we have people who we borrow books from other libraries for. So maybe they want to make a donation to our postage fund, or their kids do a lot of the arts and crafts and the robotics. Maybe they want to do a donation, that kind of thing. So our wish tree will have those kind of things on there, things that people can purchase or provide to the library that's going to help us for the next year to be able to do all the things that we're doing. So, asking people to consider those kind of donations as well. So,
Awesome. Great to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Well, thanks, Michele. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And enjoy the rest of your day, and happy Thanksgiving, and then see you and your family, and then we'll check in again next month. So
sounds great. I do appreciate it. Have a great day and happy Thanksgiving.
you bet. We'll see you. Bye.
Thanks.